So what I'm working on today is going to be the I'm gonna put the blow off valve right here. Um, this came for, I want to say maybe like this is a 3 inch. No, this is 2 inch, 2.5. I can't remember. But this one, I think the size is a little bit different. So all I did is I just took a grinder and then I opened this up a little bit instead of being more narrowed here, which would obviously be whatever. Anyways, yeah. So I just kind of flattened this down a little bit, and then I just kind of ate some of the, or grinded down some of the sides and all that stuff. And what it's not perfect, but I've gotten pretty good at filling in some gaps because I'm not the best welder. Excuse me, but yeah. So I'm gonna take this off. I've got it marked here. I've got the line, which is the outer diameter of this thing, and what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm just gonna cut on the. I'm gonna take a grinder to it, and I'm gonna cut the insides, the inside of this line, so that when I would do weld this on there, it's not, I don't go over. So let's take this thing off. I did order all the fittings that I need for this fuel system today, and then that should be in tomorrow or Wednesday. And then what's gonna happen? I'll get all that plumbed up, and then what I can do is work on this intercooler side here. I'm avoiding the wiring, honestly. I don't want to do any of the wiring on this truck. So I'm going to just build myself up to getting everything done. The AN fittings for this is also will be here tomorrow as well. Yeah, I'm going to put it off just because I don't feel like doing the wiring, and I'm going to get to the point to where that's all I have left to do, and it's going to be a time to man up and do everything I need to do on the wiring. So I'm going to take this off. I'm gonna put that on there. I'm gonna take this over to the table and then get to work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a cutting wheel, just a regular old disc, and I'm gonna cut some slits into this thing. And what I hope is gonna happen is eventually I can kind of work around it. I'm gonna cut it. I've got it marked there, and that's the outside diameter of this thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just cut the inside of it, and then I'll take the flap disc and kind of groove it out and clean it up real good. I've got a little Dremel thing here that I can also use to kind of clean it up a little bit, but we'll see what happens. I'm just gonna try to rig this thing up. Looks like crap for now, but we'll clean this stuff up. Not terrible. It's not the cleanest, but we're gonna keep going so we can kind of clean this up a little bit. The biggest thing is that, boom, we're within welding specs. So yeah, I'm gonna go in there and clean it up a little bit more. But yeah, it's not bad. I'm happy with it. The biggest thing is making sure that the inside is, can't really see it. The inside is nice and clean. And it's not terrible. And then the back, or the outside, it's not bad. Oh yeah. Yeah, that'll work. Actually, Well, again, not the most perfect welds, but it works. Should be fine for what the purpose of it is. Need to clean this thing all the way around. It got kind of hot on me. I wasn't working fast enough, so some of the spots, like you can see, like right there, it's not a nice filled bead. It almost looks kind of flat and like diluted. Same thing like on this backside. It got pretty warm on me, and I wasn't moving fast enough. So I tried to play with the settings. I turned it down. I ended up leaving it like at 85 amps is what it is, and that's what I left it as. These freaking mosquitoes are killing me, man. But we're good. It'll work. It'll hold. I don't see it coming out. So it's in. The wastegate is or blow off valve is in. The next thing I'm going to do is I ordered all the fuel fittings, the AN fittings for the fuel rails and the fuel system. I may or may not have not ordered enough AN10 line for the return. How I'm going to do that, I don't really know. I've got an idea in my head. I think I'm going to run the Y underneath, or I may run it just outside the tunnel, and then I'll run 2 AN8 hoses underneath the intake. And then I'll run them up here to a 90 at the rails. And then what's going to end up happening is I think that letting the fuel come from the bottom up into the rail and then going back out, it'll give it a clean look. I won't have so many hoses or fuel lines kind of just sitting up on top of this thing. It's already too much going on. Like this is just kind of sticking out. The oil feed line's just kind of sticking out in the open. I don't really like it, but I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. What else? I ordered as far as the, I ordered an AN8 fitting for the fuel rail that also has the, I want to say it's a 1/4 inch MPT fitting for the fuel sensor that I need to put on here as well. I'm going to tie that into that as well. And then when I run the fuel lines to the front of this, I'm going to run them back out the back. And I'm going to run 2 AN lines, 8s on the sides, right? That's going to be one rail and then the other rail on the other side. And then I'm going to run the 10 all the way out towards the back, towards the tank. So as far as me getting that done this week, that's probably it as far as the fuel stuff goes. I don't think there's anything else I need as far as to order. Maybe some AN10 line. I may not have enough to run it back to the tank. But what's going to end up happening is once I get that fuel ready and I finish this intercooler piping, I guess what I'm getting at is I have just about everything I need now here in-house to get this thing running, with the exception of the throttle cable. So, but you don't need that to start. You got somebody inside, and then we can do this manually. So it should be able to start, I don't know. I'm hoping maybe within the next week or so, depending on how much time I get to finish this thing. The problem with this is that I get really consumed into this, and then that's all I focus on for 2-3 weeks straight, and then I just drop the ball on everything else. So I'm trying just to kind of balance it out. I don't need to order anything else, like I said. I've got the fittings coming in, and all that should be what I need to plumb this fuel system. And then it's just a matter of wiring it in. And then, I might have to weld a little sensor piece to this somewhere down here or something. So there is a little bit more stuff that I have to do to it, but other than that, that's I've got the bungs to weld this stuff. So freaking mosquitoes are everywhere. Texas winter. Yeah, we're good. I'm gonna have to go back before I start it all, and I'm gonna have to go back and just tighten some things down. The flywheel the flywheel to the converter bolts. Those aren't they're on, but they're not torqued or anything like that. So I need to do that. Oh, I need to get a starter. And I need to look into that. But other than that, that's it as far as cranking it. I need a starter. I need to build a battery box. I'm gonna put the battery box, the regular size batteries. I'm gonna put that underneath the cab, or on the frame rail, like where the tank was the fuel tank, and then I'll put some maybe jump terminals there so that we can jump it there. I got a little bit of work to do still, obviously, but definitely moving in the right direction. This is done. I'll have to plumb the rest of this stuff, and then I'll get the fuel Wednesday, I'll get all the fittings for the fuel, and that's about it. That's all I got for right now. So I'm gonna be working on it this week, and then going into the next weekend, and trying to get this thing done by hopefully the end of the month, or by the end of January or the beginning of January. That'll give me February. That'll give me, let's see, most of all of February, March, April, and then May 14th and 15th at C10 National. So that'll give me at least a full month of April, and a couple days or a couple weeks into February or March to get some seat time on this thing, figure out any bugs that it may need, and just kind of see where we're at. At some point I need to add the AC to it, but that's the least of my concerns right now. I don't mind sweating. So, yeah, that's a wrap. Thanks for checking it out, guys. Stay tuned for the next one. Do the like, share, comment thing to help your boy with the algorithm. So, and for those that watch this stuff, thank you. Thanks for watching this stuff and keeping up with it. So, yeah, that's all I got.